What's up? Welcome to the Parker Daniels Show, where we make changes, no excuses. Now, before I jump into the video, I want y'all to remember to do four things: subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, and share in that order. Today's guest, I've had the privilege of knowing for, umpteen years, from high school through college. He played Phi Beta Sigma, first blind person to do so, and later on that next year I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha. George, that's his name, is a well known individual and has many accomplishments. Too many to mention today, but he's going to talk about a few of them today as we bring on my man from way back, George. How you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Let's cut through the chase. I've always admired George for his courageous feats as a blind person. George, tell the people how you made it, look so easy to function, as a blind person. Because many people think that as a blind person, you have the option, you're not gonna really do too much. You're just gonna stay at home. Tell the people, what prompted you to really get out and do what you're doing right now.
I think it all boils down to, first of all, accepting who I am, accepting, what my condition is, and that'll help you to achieve anything. As long as you recognize who you are, everything else will fall into place. As long as you don't let anything stop you. And because I'm one of those, I try to live my life as normal as I can possibly can. If there is an obstacle, I'm going to find an alternative way to make that obstacle no longer an obstacle.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes plenty of sense. How old were you when you lost your sight? And briefly tell us, about your condition and what have you.
Okay, I'm somebody, I don't have any vision as of right now. I was born with glaucoma. My mother had a traumatic pregnancy. Some things happened, and part of the side effects, it caused me to lose my vision. I did have some vision up until about maybe 6 or 7 years old. So I do have a big memory of specific, foundational colors like the blue, you blacks, you red, whites, green, yellow, stuff like that. It's the new blended colors that I have to use my imagination what they look like based on what folks may give me a little ideas. What like for example, teal. And people have told me it's like a bluish green. So since I know what green look like, I know what blue look like, I can kind of imagine what that look like mixed together.
Okay.
And I lost I don't think I went total when I was about 6 or 7 years old. It was a slow progression that it got worse, and I was at a young enough age that I just accepted anything. It was what it was. Okay. It wasn't like one day I could see, next day don't see anything.
Okay.
And they didn't have the medical technology back then like they have today. That even though I had some surgeries, but they couldn't correct relieving the pressure, which destroyed my optic nerves.
Okay. Now you mentioned some of my colors because a lot of people come to me and ask me, and I have no recollection because I lost my sight when I was 3 years of age. If someone were to come to you, and I'm quite sure they've done it, and ask you describe black or what does it look like, what do you tell them in that instance?
Well, we really can't give a clear illustration of what a color looks like. Because one thing, if you can see black, then you're seeing the color. So yeah, some people may think, is blindness like seeing black? Like, no, it's basically seeing nothing. Clear example, if somebody was watching TV and you turn your TV off, you will have a screen with nothing on it, no pictures. So if someone was to take their working physical eyes and close them for like 2 or 3 seconds, that's what you and I are like. We don't see nothing. So you can't say blind is like seeing black, because black you actually can still see the colors, whereas blind is you don't see anything. It's just nothing.
And while we're on the same subject, talking about the sensories and senses and things like that, what do you say to people who say, well, since if you're blind, then your hearing becomes much more developed, or you have a tendency to use your hearing more. So have people approached you in that aspect and say, well, hey, I mean, since you can't see, then your hearing must be 18 times better than mine.
Yeah, it's a stereotype, and I do a lot of presentations to different companies and to people to let them know that no, just because I don't have any vision, mean my hearing is better than yours. On a normal playing field, all our hearing is the same.
Mm.
My hearing may appear to be stronger because I have to pay attention to that sense a lot more than others.
Mm.
Trust me, if I had the power to snap my fingers and take sighted people's vision away for like 3 seconds, trust me, you will be able to begin to hear things that you didn't even know make noise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because now you have, because your source of information that you use a lot has been taken away, and you involuntarily are going to tune into whatever source of information you can receive, whatever sense you can get, and that'll be your sense of hearing.
I'm glad you clarified that, because people think that, oh man, you hear like bats, or because you can't see, you can hear much much greater than other people. So
all of us are not daredevils.
So we were talking earlier about a particular time in which your family realized that you, as we move on, talk about your sense of independence, and that you do have a great deal of. You were talking about a time in which your family or your mom realized that you were independent. Tell us about that briefly.
Okay, yeah. And everyone probably there at watching this video uh, have know that sometimes our loved ones, our family, they try to isolate you because basically they don't have the knowledge as to what they can do to come up with alternative measures that allows you to still participate in things like anyone else can.
Mm.
And even I had suffered the same fate. My family didn't, they took them a while to accept that there are ways that somebody can travel. There are things somebody can do that you don't necessarily have to see to do it. And so one time I had to prove a point to them wrong. I went to school at LSU, which is in Baton Rouge, and I'm from New Orleans. And I decided to come home one weekend, and I announced that I was coming home. If I'd have done that, then they probably would have been at the bus station to pick me up and stuff like that, which I don't have no problem getting rides. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not having to rely on the bus is trust me, if you can get in the car, it's a lot easier. It makes things a lot simpler. But just to exercise the independence, I came home, rode a Trailway bus. Yeah, that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a long time.
People don't even know what in the world is Trailway. But anyway, I took the bus home. I already was familiar with regular city bus routes because when I used to ride the bus with either a cousin, a sibling, or my mother, they would describe things to me. And so I had a great memory. I memorized every route. I remember what streets were coming up when we made turns, what street that is. So picking up from my orientation mobility training that I had received, we was taught to, if you want something, just ask. And I already knew how to ask the bus driver, can you let me know when you get to a particular intersection that I would get off, if I was familiar with that stop, or if there wasn't something that would give me a clue where I'm at. And so I caught the regular bus home. I knew how to walk to the bus stop. And when I got home, nobody was there. They all was, I think, visiting my grandmother, something like that. So I called over there. I'll just call them certain numbers to see where everybody was at. And they're like, what you doing at home? I said, well, I came home. And they said, oh, well, I guess you can travel by yourself. And the rest was history. My mother was able to relax from it ever since. Today.
And that you definitely do. Definitely, man. Like I said, I'm proud of you for the fact that you were able to, to do so many things. And as we move on, for the sake of time, briefly just tell the people the things that you've accomplished in the educational profession, and as well as the work profession. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the jobs that you've had, and the places you've been on your own as an independent blind person. Just brag on yourself for a minute.
That's kind of tough to do. I just don't like to brag, but I'll just tell you some of the things. Currently, my position right now, I do work for the state of Texas. I work for an agency. I'm in a rehab service division of Texas Workforce Commission. My position is a vocational rehab teacher. What my job is, folks come to me who either are losing their vision, have lost it, and I show them alternative techniques that they can still do daily routines, whether at work or at home, by using alternative methods, not having to rely on vision. because that is a tough thing that a lot of people is tough to accept or accomplish or adjust to. When you lose your business, something that you have used pretty much all of your life, and now is being taken away. So some people do panic, and so they wonder how they're going to be able to provide for their families, how they're going to be able to cook a meal, how they're going to get to work, how they're going to be able to do the job that they do
Right.
now.
Right.
And so we assess, what their daily routines are and come up with alternative measures, whether it's providing them with assistive technology or even some low tech stuff, actually marketing their appliances that allow them to operate it independently.
Mm.
And that's the job. Basically, in a nutshell, I basically am hired to teach people how I live every day and show them
Yep.
how they can do the same thing.
Okay. And you've been
And
doing
it,
that for
and
how long?
it's kind of reward. I've been doing it just over, a little over 13 years now, and
Okay,
it's
that's
kind of
good.
rewarding because I like being in a position that I can help somebody.
Okay.
And that always it made me feel good. They feel that they didn't know about certain measures they can do, and they picked up on that, and even help their own families out. Let them know that your life still can continue even though you have lost your vision.
Okay. Well, that's definitely, I mean, up your alley because, like I said, you definitely get around. You have great mobility skills and things of that nature. So that's why I want to bring you on here to let everybody to introduce you to people. First of all, let them know that hey, even though you are visually impaired, you still have the opportunity to get out, and life basically does not end because of that. And you are a prime example of one who
Right.
does take the bull by the horn and move on. So, in conclusion, because I know you're in Baton Rouge and you're kind of busy, just give the individuals out here some a bit of encouragement who may be afraid to take on a life and just choose not to do so, just sit at home and not be complacent. What do you suggest to them?
Well, one thing, it's kind of like what my spiel was at the beginning of this talk is, for one thing, yeah, we all going to be facing with some challenges. I mean, we human, it's a part of life, and we're going to have some setbacks. Don't allow the setbacks to take control of you. Assess it. Okay, yeah, you've been knocked down, but get back up. It's almost like being in a boxing match. You may get hit, you may fall down and slip, but get back up and finish the race, finish the fight. uh, Accept it. And I know it's easier said, but we are going to go through some adjustments. It's almost like those who probably have lost things from being in a tragic storm. I mean, you may have lost some possessions, some material things, but those things can be replaced. Yes, you may have worked hard to get them, but it means doesn't stop you from getting them again. You may get in a car wreck. Your car is all total messed up. That doesn't stop you take away that you know how to drive. Go get another car.
Yep.
Do whatever you can to get another car. So it's all about recognizing what the setback is. Let's be resilient. Let's explore how can I get past this, and basically still believe in yourself. Just because you've been pushed back one, take two steps forward. If you're
Okay.
somebody who is visually impaired already and you feel that you can do more, but you just need a little push the help way, seek information, network with other folks, do whatever you can, find out how they are making their achievement. Ask questions, get your questions answered. Don't ever think any question is something that's beneath anybody or beneath you. Question is
Okay.
unanswered is a question that you never. Well, I just messed myself up.
Well, if you don't a
Any,
question, I
yeah,
feel what you're saying
I know
definitely.
you
I
know
mean,
what the
so
cliche is. For some reason I'm stumbling. I don't know where it's at. Don't
definitely. I
ever
mean,
think
you
a question is ignorant.
That's all right. That's right.
Hmm.
That's right. Well, this is coming from George, and I'm glad to have you on here, man. You are an advocate for a lot of individuals who are visually impaired. Glad to see that you're doing something that you can definitely give back to those who are want to be as independent as you are. And with that being said, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure knowing you over these 47, 50, 30, how many years and whatnot. You're like a brother from another mother. And I'm gonna tell my mom you
Absolutely.
said hi, man, for real. And
Do that.
um,
Do that.
definitely take it easy, man. And we're gonna upload this. You probably be up on here sometime tomorrow or sometime tonight. Got to go to work, but definitely thanks for coming on. And to the fans, supporters, I have some surprises coming soon, so y'all stay tuned and whatnot. Again, thanks for
Hey,
tuning in to the Parker Daniel Show. Thanks, George.
all right, man. No problem.
Okay.
You're done now.